Hello my friends. So we are now in chapter number 1, unit D. So we are going to see the brain ticklers. We have already studied the unit A, B and C, which talks about introduction to project management. We have seen program, portfolio, sub-projects. Now there is a time to test yourself. So this is a time to check how much do you score, how much do you understand from the PMI perspective. So before we go towards this brain ticklers, so these are the questions which are formed on this chapter. You have to make sure that there are certain rules for this brain ticklers. You have to make sure you follow certain guidelines of this from PMI perspective. Answer all the questions from the PMI perspective. Okay, don't try to compare this with your real life projects and then try to answer the questions, because that will lead you into trouble. Because in real life you might be doing it right or wrong, you never know. So think from the PMI perspective. Sometimes you might have multiple answers which are correct, and in that case what should you do, what should you not do? So this is all nothing but a brain tickler. So let's see the first question. Which is true about the projects? Now we have seen the definition of projects, and now there are multiple options, and these options can be close to each other. You have to select the best option which you feel is right. So first, a project is a unique service. So as per the definition of projects, what have we seen? Was it a unique service? It delivers unique service, right? A project is a unique endeavor? No. So what was that? So that is option number C. A project is a temporary endeavor? Yes. A project is a temporary endeavor because it has a beginning, because it has an end, which is undertaken to create a unique product, service or a result. So is it right? Perfect. So let's see option number D. A project is a temporary project? No, it's not a temporary project. It's a temporary endeavor, and it's called as a temporary endeavor because it has a beginning, because it has an end. So it is a temporary product undertaken to create a unique endeavor or a service? No. So this is not a definition. So the right definition is option number C. So is this clear? Now let's go to the next question. A group of projects which are managed in a coordinated way in order to obtain the benefit and control which is not available from managing them individually, and this is called as. So again, before going to this particular question, let's go to the chart where we have drawn the project, program and portfolio. So a group of related projects which are managed together in order to get a benefit of not managing them individually. So this is what? Option number A. Is it a program? Is it a portfolio? Is it a project management office? Or is it a strategic selection process? Now in such kind of questions, first and the foremost, remove the odd man out. So something which you have not studied in PMP cannot be the answer. So that is option number D. Strategic selection group. So there is nothing called of this concept, which is nothing but collection of projects. Okay? So D is ruled out. Now left is A, B and C. Now, if you look at option number C, project management office. So what was this? What was it? A collection of related projects? No. So what was it? It was a department or a function which supports the project to help gather lessons learned, providing some guidance, templates, etc., etc. So can this be the answer? No. So even that is ruled out. So now we have just two options left, and that is nothing but project, program and portfolio. So then what is collection of projects? It is nothing but a program. So what is the right answer here? So the answer is A. That is nothing but program. So now you understand the trick of finding out the answers? Okay? So let's move ahead. The third question. Projects and operations work. They share all of this following characteristics except one. Now another trick while answering the questions. Whenever you see any negative word, put a finger on the negative word. Reread the question Whichever is not your answer is your answer. Have you understood the trick? Let's try it out. So let's put a finger on except and let's read that question again. So projects and operations work share all of the following characteristics. Which one is that? A. They are performed by people. So for projects, do we need people? Yes. For operations, do we need people? Yes. So is this option correct? Yes, that's correct. Second, when the objectives are reached, new objectives are formulated. Now let's talk about projects. When the objective of a project is met, what do? We start a new project, right? So is this right in case of projects? Yes. Now let's check it out in operations. When the objectives are reached, new objectives are formulated. Does that happen in operations? No, right? Because operations is ongoing. It is repetitive in nature. So there is no such thing where we formulate a new objective. So this is partially correct, partially incorrect. Right? Let's go to the next option. They are constrained by limited resources. So again we have seen this in unit number 8, where we have seen that projects as well as operations, both of these have limited resources. And that is why we have to manage the projects rightly. So is this correct? Yes. And the last. Projects and operations, they are planned, executed and controlled together. This also we have seen, because projects has IPCC, that is initiating, planning, execution, monitoring and control and closing. And operations has planning, execution and monitoring and control. It does not have initiation and closing. So is this option correct? Yes. So which is the right answer? Something which is wrong is right. Why? Because we have except. So something which is not a answer is your answer. And that is option number B. So now you understand the trick of finding out the negative, whenever there is a negative word in the question. So whenever there is except or not or cannot, put a finger on the negative word and read that question. Okay, let's go to the next question. The next question is a process of establishing clear, achievable objectives, measuring their objectives and adjusting the performance in accordance with the result of measurement is called as. So now this is the concept which they are asking about, where we establish a clear objective. So normally if we compare this with IPCC, where do we establish the objectives? The high level objective we get it at the initiation. The detailed objective we get it at the planning phase. Second, measuring the achievement. Where do we measure our project's achievement? In monitoring and control process code. And adjusting the performance in accordance with the result. So where do we take the corrective actions? We take it again after monitoring and control. We either go back to execution or we go back to planning. So this follows which concept? So what is the right answer? Yes, perfect. So this is nothing but management by objectives. But how did we come to this answer? Now again, contingency planning. Is it relevant to this question? No. Wrote it out. Alternative objectives inventory. There is no such kind of word in the vocab of PMI. So before you go to this examination, you have to go through the glossary of PMI, which is on the last, this is the last chapter on PMBOK. Make sure you read this glossary. Something which does not exist in the glossary of PMI can never be an answer. Okay? And strategic planning. Again, this is right, but this is not relevant to the question. Because the concept which we are talking about, it hints to management by objectives. And that's why the answer is A. The next question. Which of the following is usually, again, negative question, so put a finger on not. So which of the following is usually considered a goal of a portfolio management? Now let's see these 4 options and then we'll figure out which is the right, which is the wrong. So which of the following is considered as goal of portfolio? A. To maximize the value of the portfolio by carefully examining the candidate projects and exclusion of those which are not meeting the strategic objectives. Now the example which you have taken here. Assume there is some project which is not going well. What do? So what do you do generally in your projects when the project does not go fine? Yes, the gentleman there. So we basically terminate that project, right? So what will your sponsor do? The sponsor will give you a kill point and he'll say, boss, wrap up. This is not going fine. Close it out. So whenever the project is not fit to be in the portfolio, or if it does not meet the objectives, what do? I kill the project. I stop the project. And that is what is the first point. So is that correct for portfolio? Yes. Second, to balance the portfolio among the incremental and radical investments. So for a particular portfolio, let's assume here, awareness. So for awareness kind of portfolio, do we need funds? Yes, boss, we need funds, we need investments. We need support from the management, because to run this kind of awareness campaigns, we have to go to the rural places, the urban cities, SEOs, SMOs, etc., etc. And for this, we need an investment. Option number C. To manage the effective and efficient resources, do we need resources in portfolio? Yes. Without resources, we cannot manage anything. And the last option. To ensure that the relationship between the projects in the portfolio clearly reflects the strategic objectives. Now, where do we give the strategic objectives? And which is the place which has a relation among the projects? So is it portfolio or is it program? So if you see this last option, if the same option is reframed to ensure that the relationship between projects in the program clearly reflects the strategic objectives, then it is correct. But here they have mentioned as a portfolio, because portfolio is not collection of related projects. It is just collection of programs. And program is collection of related projects. So if you see, what is the right answer here? The right answer is option number D. So the answer which is wrong is the right answer, because in the question I have not. So is this clear? So now let's move towards the next chapter. Thank you.